Yeah, it's Bobby Sessions, young legend from Dallas, Texas, checking out Animal Status on Shea 45. Let's get it.
Animal Status is DJ Wonder. And oh man, do I have a special guest with me tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Bobby Sessions. What's up, Bobby? How you doing, man?
What up?
Where you at right now, man? What city are you in?
Right now I'm in New York.
New York City, man. What a great place. I see you're traveling around everywhere. I'm going to talk to you a little bit later about that. But let's talk about where you came from, Dallas, Texas. Are you born in Dallas or outside of Dallas, or where were you born?
Yeah, so I was born right in Dallas. It's a part of Southeast Dallas called Pleasant Grove. Spent a good amount of time in Pleasant Grove in South Dallas, and then I moved to on the outskirts of Dallas County, a spot called Rowlett, Texas. So I've really been all around.
Nice. And so you were probably influenced maybe what, like late 2000s. That's when you started getting like kind of your musical influence of what was popular around that time.
Um, I guess you could say that. Yeah, I would say my biggest music influences are uh, Jay Z, Tupac, Kanye, Pharrell, and Kendrick.
You weren't a big Duro fan, ice cream paint job. That must have been popping throughout your middle school and what high school career or something like that. Is that about the right time?
Yeah, that was a huge song. And salute to Dero, but that didn't influence me musically.
All right. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I saw that Cog in the Machine samples NERD sooner or later. You said that's like your favorite song, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right. So I guess how did you get your music there? You weren't listening to local radio, or are you kind of like an internet kid?
I would say a mixture of both. Like back then, it was the LimeWire era, and like that time period. So we listened to everything. It was kind of like the beginning of like the explosion of everybody going to the internet to listen to music and the blog era and all that type of stuff. But so in Dallas, the music at the time was more of like the dance and club culture, and that was stuff to have fun and party to. And then when I was looking for more lyrical content, I would go on the blogs.
Right. Um, I was recently looking at the making of Justified with Pharrell and Justin Timberlake in the studio. It's like a 15-hour like thing that's on YouTube. Have you ever checked that out to see how he
I
works in the
haven't.
studio? Are you looking forward to working with Pharrell in the future?
Absolutely, we got to get some music in, especially and Justin Timberlake as well.
Nice. That would be a nice collab. We'll put it out there in the universe. And then also signed to Def Jam, man. And that's something that you kind of manifested. What does the label Def Jam mean to you?
I mean, it's the most iconic hip hop label of all time, point blank, period. And for me, it represents a home for me to continue that tradition of iconic music and releases, and being a home to the unapologetic voices. And I hope to continue that tradition.
Right. So you were signed by Paul Rosenberg, and so were you an Eminem fan growing up as well?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
without question. Yeah,
So
without question.
was that interesting interacting with him when you first got your deal?
Yeah, because I'm talking to the man I used to hear on the skits
Right.
on Eminem's albums, and for him to be able to get the vision of what we were trying to do and to understand it so clearly, especially with putting out that Revolution trilogy and series, which was very controversial material, but he already has had a crash course in dealing with a controversial artist. So I think the transition was seamless.
Brand new song, Cog in the Machine. Is this the first song off a new album?
It is. It's the lead single off my debut album entitled Manifest, and the song is centered around me leaving my 9 to 5 job to do music full time. And it's just, a song about taking that leap of faith to go after your dreams and not being a cog in a machine, waking up doing shit that you hate to do every day.
Right. Well, the one sheet that I was given, it says in quotes, you're rapping about systemic racism, wealth inequity, and more. And I mean, are those some of the things you've been rapping since the very beginning of your career?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, pre-Def Jam, I was talking about these things. I was also discussing them, obviously. And for those who are not aware, the Revolution trilogy is a chapter one, two, and three of taking those unapologetically raw and unapologetic, raw and uncut conversations from the barbershop and putting them on wax. And that trilogy is filled with talking about systemic racism, mass incarceration, police brutality, wealth inequality, and just how different the treatment is for people that look like me in this country and throughout the world. And Cog in a Machine and my Manifest album is more built around manifestation, the law of attraction, and people making a soundtrack to people manifesting their dreams.
Right. So you've been on this wave kind of since 2015, and then the Revolution series 2018. Now, do you think it was weird kind of seeing certain rappers kind of jump on that social justice bandwagon after last summer, or are you just happy that everybody's talking about it?
I guess both can be true. Like, does it look weird? Yes, but I mean, even if someone's intentions are not as pure as you would like them to be, at the end of the day, it does still spread awareness, and there could be fans from different artists who was doing this because they thought it was a moment that still, if one of their audience became more politically aware or just went out and voted because they heard a song, I think that's a positive at the end of the day.
Right. And then you saw, like last summer, you saw a lot of corporations become super woke and they wanted to have as much diversity as possible. Have you had any kind of like trickle down love from that? People looking for activists or anything for some kind of corporate sponsorship?
Uh, More so like, different people reaching out, wanting me to do, speak, whether I'm doing some speaking video in like a panel or submitting like a freestyle or things of that nature. It's like my name would definitely come up in those things just because I've been on it for a while.
So you got the Grammy for writing alongside Megan Thee Stallion for Savage originally, but then the Savage remix with Beyonce was the one that actually got the Grammy, right?
Right.
Are you allowed to say like what you did within the song?
um I anytime I'm in a situation, I'm just there to take whatever is being worked on to the next level. That's my role. I'm trying to be like a not trying to be. I'm the Black Dave Foster. That's what I'm focused on. Like, if you, it should be a flex when someone brings Bobby Sessions in because it's a signal that they're trying to be great and put out the best version of themselves. And that's my goal in any situation. Is just to take things to another level.
All right. Well, let's just say you were like a ghostwriter or writing actual lines for a female artist. Do you have to put yourself into that character? And if they have like a certain ad lib, like or whatever the Mega Stallion does, do you have to include those at the end of lines, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So in the process of me writing, one, I'm never, definitely not a ghost writer. Yeah, no, it's no ghost.
Okay.
but I would say in the process of collaborating with other great creatives, I just get a sense of what they're trying to say, what are their thoughts, what are they going through, and then just create. It's not like this deep. I can't become anybody else ever. I don't attempt to, but I do try to get a synergy with whatever great artist that I'm working with, and then just make the best product possible.
All right, that sounds good, man. That's a great way to be in the studio. And then you reunited with Megan for the Coming to America soundtrack for "I'm a King," man. Now this is a song that has really taken off due to TikTok. Would you say?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And just, how it was used in the film with, which was one of the wildest manifestations thus far, with like seeing my face in the movie and seeing my name and hearing the song play. Man, it was a crazy thing. But the Zamunda challenge on TikTok definitely gave I'm a King a great bump.
You ever
for
watch
sure.
you watch these TikTokers and see like the facial expressions that are making? Do you get like a secondhand embarrassment from watching them a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Like I could never personally dance like that, but you know, more power to them if they feel like they can. How do you feel when you see some of these people dancing to your song?
It's pretty cool. I mean, mainly because, we're in a pandemic and, you have people that are going through a very difficult time. So to see people smiling or looking goofy or silly and willing to set up a camera on a tripod in order to do that, just to have some joy during a very uncertain time, it just feels good that, for me and Megan to be providing just some happiness during a difficult time for a lot of people.
Right. Okay. Now, if there's one movie and throughout the history of cinema, excuse me, that you could be on the soundtrack for, besides Coming to America, what other movie would you pick to be on the soundtrack for?
Damn, that's crazy. Space Jam.
Original Space Jam. So LeBron didn't reach out to you for this next one?
We did send something in. I don't know if it made it or not. But um Space Jam is also, it's one of those movies, just like the original Coming to America. It's just it's entrenched. It's just part of our culture. So that's one I would definitely want to be a part of. And I would love to be a part of whenever they make another Black Panther. I would really want to be a part of that soundtrack. That's a big one for me.
Man, so we talked about Grammys, we talked about soundtracks, you've manifested a lot of things, and also you just got engaged as well. Is that right?
That's true.
Man, so how long have you known your fiance?
Um, Almost like I think 11 years or close to 11 years.
Wow, so it's been a long ride. Now
Yeah.
you're coming into your own. You're getting a lot of popularity. Do you ever think that you're gonna regret not having those like groupie encounters and everything else that a rapper wants?
um, no, mainly because when you find somebody that you're building an empire with, your state just gets, I guess, a little bit different. Like, especially, I've had a great amount of fun in my life. So it's like, when you have somebody that really understands you, I think it's important to really build a dynasty, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're aiming to do.
All right, better man than me, I gotta say, because I'm looking at your schedule, man. You're flying from New York, then you're going to Miami, then you're going to LA, all over the place, and
Hmm.
this is just happening to you right now. Can you imagine if you popped off like maybe 2018, 2019 before the pandemic? How many crazy places you would have been to? Is it kind of a curse that you are coming into your own during this time?
That's a great question. Definitely not a curse. It's just different than how I originally imagined it would go. No one is thinking that a pandemic and lockdown and quarantine and all of those things are going to come into play. But when you're fortunate enough to have to experience the success that we've manifested thus far, that we're currently manifesting, lockdown or not, coronavirus or not, is something that you really appreciate. And I think the experiences that I've had in 2018 and 19 prepared me to handle the pace of things now, and even when the pace picks up, later in the year in 2022, when things get to, I'm gonna say back to normal, but to whatever the new normal will be. I'm extremely prepared for everything that comes with that.
Right, and I gotta ask, man, because it seems that it's guided your career, but is the secret a cult?
um, yes, in its own way. I think so for me, The Secret was just something that sparked my journey on the law of attraction. I don't necessarily live my life based around The Secret. The Secret was just my introduction to just that thinking, and it sent me down like the self-help section of, I ain't gonna say like the library, but just like audiobooks and TED Talks and studying metaphysics and things of that nature, like getting a more scientific education about how to people manifest things. How actually, when I saw The Secret for the first time, I thought it was. Can I cuss on this?
Whatever you want.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was bullshit. I'm just like, okay, I can think something and then it can it can come true. Like I actually thought it was like some like cat to be honest with you. Like it wasn't, it was just that thinking was so different than what I had been taught my whole life. But I started studying more of the more practical and real life application of a lot of the things that are brought up, and started to get more depth and context about how to apply these things and use these things. Like I would say some of my biggest inspiration or things that I built my, I guess my mental system around is As a Man Thinketh. It's a book by James Allen, Think and Grow Rich. A book, The Alchemist, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, the 4 Agreements. Like a lot of those things have shaped me a lot more than The Secret did. But The Secret was just my introduction into that world.
It was your gateway drug, I guess you could say.
Sure.
So also real quick, we want to say Black Panther #24 that came out. You were a part of that, so that's a great thing, and I'm sure you'll be wanting to do more comic stuff in the future.
Absolutely.
But if there's one thing that you could manifest, because we're getting ready for the new album, manifest one thing you can manifest for 2021. What's it going to be?
For my debut album, Manifest, to be heard the same way we hear it. We describe it as the chronic of self-help. I feel it's one of the best debut albums of all time. And we want, though this is technically a 2022 manifestation, we want Manifest to win Best Rap Album at the 2022 Grammys.
Wow, that's a great manifestation, I will say, man. Bobby Sessions, thank you so much for rocking on Animal Status. I have to put the fire out over there. Animal Status only on Shade 4-5.